Sure. Hi. So my name is Rushad. I've been in the restaurant industry for the last 15 plus years.
My name is Avnish. Last 15 years, I was in Delhi working for a experiential event management company. And before that, I used to play cricket.
I used to work under him in Vizcraft and I was bullied a lot
Really?
just by her.
ऐसा तो कभी हुआ नहीं. Coffee is very personal, right? It's like perfume.
Well, what is the difference? What are your unique selling points in Pune?
Free Wi-Fi, free for however long you want to sit.
I personally feel every customer today, whether you have 100 followers or 1,000 followers, is an influencer.
Everything that you see on Bookbar, Instagram is 100% UGC.
One of the things which we intentionally did was remove the hierarchy and blend in with your customer.
Please watch what's different now. With Rushad and Avnish.
Hi Rushad, hi Avnish. Thank you so much for doing this. It's great to be a part of Bookbar as a customer as well. And I would really like to know more about Bookbar. So if you can just in brief give us an idea of what Bookbar is, how you guys met, what are your backgrounds, and then we can get the conversation started.
Sure. Hi. So my name is Rushad. I've been in the restaurant industry for the last 15 plus years. I scaled a brand called Greedy Man. It's a specialty pizza place. We scaled it to about 10 stores. We shut it down last year due to several operational reasons. And we started a brand called Bookbar. And we're here 3 stores later chatting with you.
So I'll talk a little more about Rushad also. He's a very humble guy. He doesn't talk too much about himself. But so my name is Avnish. I have had a very interesting, diverse career. Last 15 years, I was in Delhi working for a experiential event management company. And before that, I used to play cricket. Not many people know that at a national level. And Rushad and me have been friends since long. He has worked in Vizcraft for a year. And a couple of years back, I shifted from Delhi to Pune. And that's where we met. So we got talking and we started different things. We started another business as well, which is an activewear business. And over the last 6 to 8 months, we got introduced again. Life had other plans, and we thought that let's meet and do something interesting. Which coffee was on the rise that time, and Rushad has an hospitality experience, right? Last 10 years, as he said, he scaled Greedy Man. He started another restaurant, and in between all of this, coffee happened. And we just got talking one day, and we had a few ideas here and there, and that's where the seed of Bookbar was planted. So my strength was that I came from an experiential marketing background. Rushad came from an operational hospitality industry, and I think we really met at a very interesting point, both of us, where we were like, you know what, I have my lane, you have your lane. Let's just do something very interesting. So, and to top of it, we were friends. So it just happened in that way. So that's the introduction.
Just to add to that, I used to work under him in Vizcraft and I was bullied a lot
Really?
just by her. So,
No, but this was 15 years back.
yeah, chai leke aa, coffee leke aa, खाना लेके आया
अच्छा.
गाड़ी में पेट्रोल भर के आया
ऐसा तो कभी हुआ नहीं है. No, so actually, interesting thing was that in the last 2 years, I've been working from different cafes. Pretty much a work from home kind of a model. And I happen to have left alcohol, right? So coffee became a very interesting subject for me. And over the last 2 years, I explored various cafes and started getting pulled into this whole coffee scene. From just having black coffee, which was the norm, to understanding how coffee can be nuanced, the different layers, the entire supply chain from growing the plant to the whole back-ending process to the cup, from bean to a cup, as they say. That was something which intrigued me. And I saw a great shift in this city where largely being a chai or a tea driven katta culture, so to speak, I saw the Gen Z, so to speak, moving towards wanting something which was more non-alcoholic as an experience. And last year, I had gone to Paris and did some exploring there. And I kept telling Rushad that, I think coffee is going to explode. I think coffee is something really very interesting. And I think people here are going to enjoy it. And that got us talking. And Rushad, obviously, once the great part about him is that you put an idea in his head and he goes to another level completely. And he started his research and he was like, you know what, let's do it. And then, so coffee was the central thought. Pizza he had already done before with Greedy Man. And the third element was what we really take pride in was books, right? And all these three elements, it's just like how the Avengers come together, like just assembled, right? And that, honestly, there was no such planning in a way wherein, we need to do something like this. It just happened. The timing was right. We did our research. I understood what the customer really wanted today. Rushad, which is experience on pizza and all the setting up stores very quickly. And that's how Bookbar as a idea took life. And this was somewhere around November last year. October, November.
But I was not really sold on coffee. I was like, nah, it won't work. What is there in coffee? There's nothing in coffee. I was already in the bar scene. So I already had bars, had a bar. And we wanted to grow that, remember.
So November, we decided, okay, let's do this. And so the next thing was the place. Like, what do we do? And we searched a lot of places, got some interesting places, but last minute got cancelled. And then very unassumingly, we found a place in Kothurud, Mayur Colony, which was honestly like, it was so bad if you looked at it at the start. And I think kudos to the team to really have had the faith to be able to visualize what you see today and to convert it in a record 30 to 40 days.
40 days.
To be able to, visualize what an idea to its actual translation. And that's actually how it happened. And we actually started just winging everything on the go.
Yeah,
So-
we never used any of our stores. We've never used an interior design firm or an interior consultant. It's all in-house.
We have a
Everybody
person
is an interior designer
who does that.
when they enter the space. So it's all a collective brainstorm and then just put into play.
So that's where Bookbar was born. And the idea to then use, then we started thinking that, okay, fine, we want to do books, right? So what do we do with books? We don't want to sell books. It's not a revenue model. Then came our idea of doing pre-loved books. Because we see...
No, that also idea came because new books were expensive and they were as expensive as opening
That is
another
something which
book
we were
bar.
not supposed to say, but it's good that we've captured it.
No, it doesn't matter.
No.
And so then we decided to save the books and get pre-loved books. So yeah, that's where the idea of
And
second-hand books came into play.
pre-loved books have no official distribution channel, right? Also, it was something which kept playing in our minds to kind of give access to books, to experiences for the customer. It's not just about coffee or a pizza, right? We wanted that part, and we wanted to be very honest with it. We have books, we have people, we have things which we are going to create, which are going to make you feel more like an experience. So come and explore it, read. And of course, for us, it was more like, okay, let's create something which we can hang out. दूसरों के cafe में करते हैं. So why not create something which is the intersection of the passion points, like music, for example, books, this concept of slow living, and food, right? All these three to five things coming together. It, as I said, it just fell in place, and what glued everything together was, we decided we want to have fun with it. I think that is a very important aspect of Bookbar. Like, we want to be honest, we want to have fun. We wanted to be customers in our own establishment and feel at home. And that is what got extended to the community. So, long story short, Bookbar, artisanal coffee, pizza house, bookstore. We do specialty coffee, which means we source coffee from different farms. We have different pouring methods, a chance for people to express themselves through coffee. Pizza house, obviously, because we have that experience, and combination of a pizza into coffee is something new. And then, of course, the bookstore, creating or coming under this whole umbrella of what we call as slow living. Everyone can come, hang out, love, romanticize their day. There are so many moods one has, and that's what we've learned. You come alone, you come on a date, you come for work, you just come to just not do anything. You come to read, you come to share something about your life. This is the place. That's Bookbar for you.
Yeah, I think also we have a very extensive coffee menu. Fair to say, I think the most extensive in Pune, I think, at the moment. So if you see the coffee menu that we have, I don't think any coffee house has that menu. So yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, a lot of coffee. So yeah.
Great. So from a customer's perspective, I have seen this firsthand, right? Whatever you have promised and whatever you have kept on the table is really happening. So basically, whenever we come into Bookbar, we can see people, networking seamlessly. We can see people chilling, different age groups, different set of people. And so my basic question to you is like, with everything said, right, as you guys also have experienced this by going to cafes, right? How could you maintain and build that culture with the help of everyone? So what was that, one emotion we can say that stuck and you wanted to give that to your customers?
I think I said this a little while back, we wanted to just build a space wherein there is no hierarchy, right? And the conversation is real time. There's real time feedback. So for example, if I go to a cafe and I suddenly start feeling very hierarchical, as in, the service, the seating, the experience, the conversation, if it's not there, then you start feeling that you're not a part of it. You're just coming to a cafe for a small, short experience and you're going back. Here, one of the things which we intentionally did was remove the hierarchy and blend in with your customer. Have the conversation and have a genuine conversation. We talk to so many people every day. You must have been on a receiving side of that conversation with our teams as well. Just simple feedback, feeling at home, inclusivity, so to speak. And it also extends in our cultural, kind of workshops and activities which we do. So you feel that you are a part of the cafe, whether it is a small part or a big part, but you're still a part of the cafe. You're involved. There is someone who's going to ask you a question. There is someone who is going to listen to what you're going to say. And I think this created that safe space. It created that whole thing of, okay, this is a very interesting, different culture which the city perhaps has not seen. And that's what I think, we maintained. An honest dialogue. It's not a monologue. So yeah, I think keeping it honest, keeping it real, keeping it in such a way that, there is no concept of hierarchy only. While there has to be, systems have to be in place. On the floor, it's everyone the stakeholder, equally.
And it has to be fun also. So that is the most important.
Right. But how do you make it fun in the back of the whole thing, right? Because things have to keep on running, right? You have to keep a check on everything. So even for your employees who are working at the back end, how do you keep it fun for them as well?
So I think I'm the most naughty person in the company. I think after post 5:36, I like to do time pass. So I get them inside and Yeah, I do. I mean, we have our own type of fun. Yeah, I mean, pulling each other's leg. It's just basic banter. So yeah,
It's like a house.
yeah, it's like
right?
a house.
You know, in a house there are no.
It's not like a
systems.
house. Also, it's more like a dorm room. Like
Everyone's doing everything. People are shouting. People are laughing.
like a boarding school dorm
Yeah.
room. So
Mischievous.
Yeah,
I would use the word mischievous.
yeah, we do a lot of time pass. Yeah, you have no idea. Like nobody has any idea.
So it's not a corporate system. And that's where we also try to draw a balance. Like there has to be systems, as you rightly said. For anything to work, there has to be a system. And systems have to be automated. But the soul of that system is very important. The soul has to be honest. It has to be fun. It has to reflect people. And that reflects in the, towards the customer also. Because the chain is very interesting. The person who is going to serve you, right, is your first contact, right? It comes from this chain. If that person embodies all of this and the soul, the customer who is going to be on the receiving side of it is going to feel good, right? So while systems have to be in place, I think the soul is the most important thing. And I think that gets extended through all our personalities. And we don't want to have a tab on it.
No, serious work happens 4 hours in a day. Then it's just time pass. But nobody works. Nobody works for 9 hours seriously now. No, seriously.
So you said you guys started in November, right? Last year.
We started our R&D in November. November.
It's been a year, right? And still, you guys have captured a lot of the market, I can say, at least in this area, right? You guys have a cafe at Mayur Colony in Koth Road, at Prabhat Road, I guess, and FC, right? So how do you think that this compounded?
So funny story is that the day we opened Koth Road, the next day we started fighting for this property. So it took us a good 6 months to close this one, specifically this one. In that gap between Koth Road and FC Road, Prabhat Road happened. So negotiations for this store were getting delayed. And we found a really nice space in Prabhat Road. And Amnish was like, let's do a mini. And I think it was perfect for a mini store. So we just went ahead with it. And even after starting that store, this store still took another 2 or 3 months to sign the papers and everything and all. So yeah, so it just happened. Like it always, for a restaurant person, for any restaurant person, the locality and the area is very important, but also the property is also very important. So if there's a good property in hand, yeah, I mean, if you have everything in backend which is already planned, it's very easy to open. It's a very plug and play model. So,
and the interesting part to add to what Rushad said, when we started Mayur Colony, honestly, we were not expecting the response as how it happened, right? We were like, okay, let's see who comes to our cafe, because there was another cafe on that road, and we weren't really sure who is our audience. Who will come? Like, okay, fine. We had an idea, but it's still those initial thoughts, right? I think the first month response was so overwhelming that I think that fueled his mind to be able to be like, okay, you know what? I think I've understood what Avnish was telling me the whole year about coffee. Yeah. And then once that happens, then it just goes like this. And as an entrepreneur, and Rushad he's a guy who is like, okay, idea hai na, let's do it. We'll figure out where we land, kind of a situation with his approach.
We would have opened another 4th store by now, but had it not been the rainy season and Ganesh Chaturthi and Shravan. So this kind of period is like the slack period for restaurants. So business is always down, and festivities and all. So it's all November post that business restarts. So we would have opened one more, but we were like, no, let's chill now for some time. Let's travel. Let's enjoy.
But great market analysis, I should say. Recently, you all have added much bigger plates to your menu as well.
Yeah, so that I keep changing every month. My head is right there, sitting over there, and she won't be very happy with this. But yeah, I love changing the menu. I think it is one of the souls of the restaurant, that food needs to keep changing, and they don't really accept it, but I think it is.
See,
I need to keep changing. I need to keep
experimentation part,
because that's what makes you different as well, right? At the end of the day. So
So, what about coffee, Avnish? Like, you have traveled a lot, right? Like you said, you have explored coffee a lot because you stopped alcohol. So, uh, what is the best type of coffee according to you, and what do you want people to explore more when it comes to coffee?
well, I'm not a mastermind of coffee, nor I actually don't even know how to make a coffee. So I don't want to take any thought leadership on that part. But I think what I can say is that coffee is very personal, right? It's like perfume. I keep saying that, perfume is so personal to individuals. And it has layers, it has notes, right? So coffee is a subject. The universe is so great because you have all your milk-based coffees, right? You have cappuccinos, lattes, and cortados, and all of that. And then you have all your non-milk based coffees, right? So technically, what I think generally people have heard the milk based coffee. The cappuccino, latte, cortado is very common. And on the non-milk based coffees, Americano was largely hanging around for a very long time, right? But sometimes you would be like, there's no flavor, it's just all the health freaks, because it is almost a 0-calorie drink. People just had Americanos all the time. This is where the introduction of, okay, let's introduce specialty coffee, coffee which, and tell people how it is created, came into existence for us. So a pour over, what happens in a pour over? To talk about the different beans, like Arabica coffee which is how is coffee made flavorful? Like, when you pick up the cherry, you wash it. There are different washing methods. I don't want to get into technicalities of it, but it's like, how do you, curd, how do you make curd? It's a fermenting process, right? Coffee is the same. You take that, you put it in a barrel or in a process which ferments it. And then you introduce microbes, you introduce all this. And that's where the bean gets the flavor. Once that happens, there's a roasting part of it. Roasting is another crazy universe, right? So imagine this one cup of coffee, which is a pour over, which is called as a Vienna roast, has such a crazy process. It is so nuanced. The temperature has to be right. The water levels have to be right. The roasting has to be right. The drying has to be right. All of this for this one cup. And yet when someone drinks it, they're like, too bitter, or too this, or too that. But once people understand this, they start appreciating what is going behind it. And then they look at the same thing very differently. So that is what interested me. That is what I thought that, okay, let's offer this to people. Let's see how people are reacting to this. Let's educate them, and let's try to give a good cup of coffee, especially the non-milk one. Having said that, the toughest and the most underestimated coffee is always the milk-based ones, because you need to get the balance right? So we paid a lot of attention on our house blend, which is all the milk-based bean. And we've got that feedback. I think our cappuccinos, honestly speaking, not because of this, I think it's fantastic. I love the boldness of it. I love the flavor.
I think it's one of the stronger beans compared to other coffee houses. So that's a risk I think we took.
We took that risk.
To have it a little more darker, stronger than other coffee houses. So I think it turned out to be a good risk. So yeah. So I was a tea person like till November. Now I only drink coffee. So yeah.
That's the funny part. Rushad and me, and this has been for so many people in Pune, we always used to go to these kattas and have cutting chai. Life was that. Have a lot of tea the whole day and talk about crazy things and just spend your time. We started from there, and I think somewhere we still love tea. that ghar ka chai.
Yeah,
It's a non-negotiable.
In a day, at least 1 cup tea is mandatory. Cannot not have tea.
But yes,
Mixture of tea and coffee. Na. So, tea and fancy coffee.
tea and fancy coffee. So it's an acquired taste. I think people are now slowly appreciating it. People are slowly understanding it. You can only appreciate something when you start truly understanding it. So while we serve coffee, we also talk to people about it. And I think that talking and that conversation makes all the difference.
But we do a lot of R&D as well. Like,
So, when it comes to research, how did you research and pick, what coffee goes on your menu? At the same time, how is the coffee culture in Pune, according to you?
I think it's doing wonderfully well. A lot of new cafes opening up. The basics will always remain basics. It's all the crazy ones on the menu that make it to the reels. You won't see a reel with a cappuccino being made, right? Because nobody really cares about it. It's a cappuccino at the end of the day. Unless you're talking about the bean and the process, like what he mentioned. It's all the crazy things that are happening in the non-coffee section, like tiramisu. There's a big viral tiramisu, matcha. Yeah. Different variations of matcha. So, yeah, I think that is what is catching up now. And it is good, yeah. I mean, more coffee houses should open, I think, in Pune and in the whole of India. I think coffee culture is very good. I think India is the 3rd or 4th largest exporter of coffee beans. So why export it? Rather keep it in the country and grow business. Yeah. So I feel.
And also I'll attribute it to the popularity of alcohol and bars. I personally feel have plateaued or they are slightly on the decline. People like slow experiences more. I think the younger generation, the Gen Z of sorts, it's more of like, okay, I want some soul in what I do. I just don't want to do the usual situation which happens, right? And it's also the process of discoverability. I feel social media plays a big role, right? Okay, I discovered a specialty coffee. I want to first put it on my story. And I want to get some, what do you call them? Aura points. Like whatever. Right? And this is something
what are they called?
Apparently it's called as aura points, which increases points? Your aura when you become cool, that, right? Basically,
there is a term like that.
Yeah, there is. So that also helps in the whole, the coolness of it. Like, I am a guy who has specialty coffee and I've discovered it. So my aura points are increasing in my circle and I'm getting people to come and experience the same thing. So this is a very important part of a culture, by the way. It's not just about the product. The social part, the shareability part is embedded in today's culture. People perhaps don't understand that. This can't stand on its own. If there was no social media and no culture of like this whole shareability part of it, I'm not sure if it would have come into existence, right? All of this, if you see, people love to share it, and in a very authentic way. So to answer your question, the culture of Pune, coffee culture is changing, is evolving. Now every person will think, okay, I just don't want to give a burnt cappuccino or an Americano. They will at least think 2 times, you know what, my customer is aware. I think I need to give them a good cup of coffee. And that's how things start moving. That's how supply chain starts changing. That's how, the businesses become more, and then it becomes competitive.
So I'll just give you a personal example about what you said. This is very correct. Because when we were younger, we were in the study phase, we tend to have coffee, right? To stay awake and study for the night. We used to pick any coffee, we used to make it and, have it the way we want. But the culture is really changing because even now people are taking that effort to go out, explore coffees, different brands, go to Starbucks or some artisanal coffee spaces who are creating their own coffee powders, and experiment with their coffee. Someone is putting something else. They are, blending it in a different way. So yes, that is changing for sure. I've seen that happen firsthand as well. So again, when it comes to research, what was your initial take about table turnaround time? So there are a lot of elements, right, that goes into planning when you are initially starting. Of course, Rushad has been in the hospitality industry for a very long time. So he must have explored this before as well. And some things must have worked, something must have not worked. So when it comes to Bookbar, what were your initial thoughts about table turnover time?
No, I think we already always had decided that we will not have any cap on any table, no time cap, no giving money for internet. So the idea was always to come and sit for however long you want. Table turnaround was not something that we had thought of. But I think it automatically figured its way out. And yeah, I mean, right now I can't give you a specific answer because we don't charge. I mean, it's like you come and sit. You can sit for 12 hours also. So there's no specific table turnaround that I can tell. You can come and sit tomorrow for like the whole day and maybe have one coffee, but that's not going to. How do I put it? It's not. It's not something that is in our.
It's our philosophy, actually. It's not.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's in our philosophy. I mean, we don't care.
We would go to a cafe and we would want to sit the whole day. Of course, there's a risk, right? Because if so many people come and they don't order, it's a risk, right? It's from a business or a revenue point of view. But I've always seen that you will have 5 to 10% of such people.
Yeah. Not everybody. I mean, you will not see everybody doing that.
You're going to get hungry, right? After 2 hours of great work, right? And somewhere you will be like, you know what? I think I should have another coffee. And we just don't want to tell people anything. Let people discover, be themselves. You're happy as we let you be. No one likes to be told. People like to explore and discover for themselves. We are just here to cater for all of that. And I think it's a great move because there's a component of service which Rushad, I think you can speak about that. The service part really makes a big difference.
So yeah, I mean, I don't want to, but yeah, we do have service people in a coffee house. Generally, you won't see specialty coffee houses having service staff. So that also kind of pushes our revenue at the end of the day. So if you're sitting for a couple of hours, yes, you'll have somebody come in and speak, ask if you want something more. So that also kind of adds to the revenue as well. But that's not something that we push. I mean, it's not a compulsory thing. Like once, maybe twice. Then I think my staff, I mean, everybody knows if they want to order, they'll order. So they will not push. But then again, what Avnish said is like 10 to 15% of the total crowd that comes and sits for that many hours. So, which is fine, I guess. I mean, that's why we made the space. It's like going to a library and then the librarian telling you to get out. Like you scout.
Actually, that's a great example. Why should you go?
We made the space to enjoy. So enjoy it.
So to add a little more to that question, have you guys noticed any trends? Like you'll have been live for a while now. If you'll have made some menu changes or some seating arrangement changes or anything like that has significantly improved customers or revenue, anything like that?
Yeah, of course. I think I do a lot of R&D at 1 o'clock in the night on Instagram to see what is trending all over the world in terms of coffee, in terms of specialty beverages, in terms of milk-based coffees, matchas. And if I like something, I think I come the next day and we do trials, and if all of us like it, it's on the menu in like 2 or 3 days. And I think these guys do a wonderful job of creating content around it, so we can push it as much as we can. And yeah, I mean, that's how we do it. Very, very honestly, everything is there on Instagram. Yeah.
I love the way you guys are tapping into the algorithm. Yeah. I mean, everything just works out because it's in the right place. Like the pictures people click here at Bookbar, they are so amazing that whenever they share it on their social medias, other people in their group also want to visit, right? So
yeah, we do a lot of UGC. I think we're. I think
Only
one.
UGC.
We only do UGC. We don't do influencers. We are completely against the influencer. Nothing against them. I think all of them are good at what they do. But I don't think a book bar requires a influencer. I don't see. I don't see a point where an influencer comes and talks about, say, the wall, for example, over here. I think it's all everything that you see on Bookbar Instagram is 100% UGC. Not a single influencer has been used or called. I won't say used, but called to promote the place. It's always been UGC. So and to all the people who come at all our store openings, thank you. Please keep coming. We have more stores opening. So
I have a slightly different take on it. I feel trends are very important to understand what's happening in the world. I think you can't be ignorant to that. It's communication. Having said that, to be able to do something unique, keeping the trend as a base and to tell your story in your way is what we always as a group try to achieve. So of course there is something trending in terms of a drink, as Rushad said. We'll come, we'll do the trials and hit and miss, no problem. But I think largely the ethos has always been to voice your own story and not actually technically follow a trend, so to speak. So when Rushad says, and what we also believe, that we don't do influence, it's not because we take some high position on it. I personally feel every customer today,
Is an
whether you
influencer.
have 100 followers or 1,000 followers, is an influencer, right? Everyone has a voice. We empower people with that voice. And as you rightly said, the reason why everything falls into place is because you are my brand ambassador. All people who are coming there are going to talk about our cafe, right? So, sure, what does an influencer do? You have more reach, you have more influence. The term influence is not just limited to following. Every person influences. I rather have 10 people getting influenced by one person having those 10 followers than 1 lakh following influencing 5 people. What's my strike rate? I'm not paying, I'm empowering, I'm actually getting more people. And I think I spoke about the soul, right? So while we have this system, the soul of our cafe, the philosophy and ethos is this. So I think that is an important nuance to highlight. No problem for anyone coming, but everyone is an influencer here. And this model might change later, this model might not. But as of today, and we can only speak about today, is what this is. And we are happy with it.
No, it won't change. It won't change.
So, hospitality is a really high pressure place, right? So, how do you manage retaining talent, keeping your employees satisfied? And because I have heard a lot of times that when it comes to restaurant businesses, when it comes to cafe businesses, employment becomes a big stressful situation altogether.
It's an everyday issue here. So
Oh, it's crazy.
it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, we do have teams responsible for their own departments, and I think fairly they're doing a very good job at the moment. And yeah, I guess hospitality, people can move like jump the next day. So it's really subjective, I think. At the end of the
It
day.
is, and talent retention is itself, you might love the atmosphere, but there are other aspects to retain also, right?
It's a very touchy topic.
And to be very honest,
It
this
is
is
a
a
very touchy
very
topic.
crazy thing in hospitality. I think everyone knows it. There is no one rule. Rushad gets stressed a lot, and it is so that because in and outs are very easy, right? Yet, I think what binds everything is the vision. I think if the vision from the management to the last mile, if it can be translated in the language which each one can receive, that somewhere aligns and puts people together that we are working for something bigger or different, and the happiness part of it. A happy team. But you know
Yeah.
what? Who's happy today? There's always something more everyone wants.
That's why it's a very touchy topic. And if you can ask any restaurant head, they'll always say the same.
He would know better. I'm not from the industry.
We
so
have
to speak.
a very secret strategy to retaining people. So those who want to be retained will always be retained. Those who don't want to be retained, obviously, you can't force somebody to work for you. At the end of the day, everybody has their own dreams to fulfill. Yeah. So, but I think it's there in every job, every type of business that you're running. At the end of the day, so.
So the door is always open,
Door is
but
always
what
open,
happens
yeah.
inside is set in stone. The door is always open for someone who can go out also, right? People who are going to be there, who are going to work, will work irrespective. I think that's something which has been set very subtly and loudly in all aspects. So, yeah.
Okay, great. So, Avnish, you have been traveling a lot, right? And specifically, you have been exploring the coffee culture a lot. So, what's the major difference you see in employment when it comes to India and away from India, like not in India? So, whatever countries you have been to, right? Employment there, like for example, a barista, right? How are they positioned there and how are they positioned in India?
Interesting question, because I've always now felt that being a barista is going to be the most sought after job in this country, right? Two things. When you go abroad, there's dignity of labor, of course, and you always have interesting people. Even as bartenders, the culture is such that when students go there, they also do bartending. They are a barista. They're doing service, and all of this is very normal. It's a very interesting, cool thing, and it's a great way to earn money, right? Now, as I see, the number of baristas are going to increase because so many cafe culture. We answered this question, right? That it's just exponentially growing. Today, an engineer wants to be a barista and wants to be a part of a culture like this. It is only going to grow, and more institutions, certifications, all of that are going to come into play.
Yeah.
And it's not just baristas. I feel a cultural part of it, right? You would have positions for that. See, your standard chef, kitchen, service will always be there. It's like oil for making vegetable. You can't do without it, right? So those standards are always going to be there. But these specializations, especially from a coffee aspect, roasting, for example, there's a science behind it. So you will have more and more opportunities for people to actually get into this whole coffee ecosystem, and the job opportunities are completely going to be available, is what I feel. Similarly for baking, similarly for the whole bakery and bread industry, I think you would vouch for this, because you have seen it very closely, and everyone expects quality, and that's the reason why it's all going to open up into its different aspects.
Correct.
Is it that, because we as Indians have never taken culinary very seriously in the bigger masses? I mean, in the bigger masses. Like, if I say, in the US, probably every other household, someone or the other is interested in cooking. But in an Indian household, if you're interested in cooking, that means that, that attitude still persists somewhere or the other. So is that also the reason why we as Indians don't be able to scale
I feel we have cooks who come and cook for us, so it becomes easy for us. I think in the US or any country, I don't think they have the liberty to hire cooks. So they have to cook. So they need to know how to cook good food. So I think that is the major difference between India and, also to add to what he said, US or European countries, the governments support, right? I mean, you have to pay per hour. There's a cap, and plus service charge, tips. They get a lot of tips. Our industry has a rule where a customer can come and tell you not to pay service charge, like remove service charge, which I feel is wrong, because a lot of people in India work for service charge as well, right? I mean, labor is not that expensive. It's cheap at the end of the day, and they also rely on service charge. So I think it is. I think.
You think it'll change?
I hope it changes. I hope they give a mandatory service charge rule. It's very important. It's like a second earning for anybody working in especially in the service industry, and they're standing 9-10 hours a day and serving you guys. So I think it is very important that service charge should be mandatory. But this is my personal opinion. I feel I think a lot of 99% of restaurant heads would agree to this. That service charge should be mandatory. I don't think anybody would disagree to it at the end of the day.
So let's talk a little about your USPs, right? So because the coffee culture is growing in Pune as well, what is the difference? What are your unique selling points that you offer different to any other cafes in Pune?
Free Wi-Fi, free sit for however long you want to sit. Nobody will come and irritate you or push you to get up or order. I think that is a very big advantage for customers today at the end of the day. So I think that is our non-food mein, that is the biggest USP I think a coffee house can provide. But I think a lot of people are already doing that. Some people charge for it like on an hourly basis and all. We don't do that. We don't want to do that. Food mein, I think USPs are, I don't know, I think we're one of the few cafes that do decaf. Are there people doing decaf? I don't know. I mean, I've not heard. I think we were the first people to do whiskey barrel though. Rum and whiskey barrel coffee, right?
Yeah. I don't, to be very honest, I don't know what really happened in the other specialty coffees in Pune, but
we actually don't care about other specialty coffee places. We have our own stores to look at, and yeah, I mean, people can come and copy us. It's okay. It's a good sign.
So yeah, and I think one thing which we keep talking about even in our social media and a tone of voice of the brand is to have a more community first approach. All of this, what Rushad said, simple thing as a free Wi-Fi or any other nuance, it all comes under what we want to call it as an experience. So it's not just about selling a product, it is about selling an experience. We feel that whether it's called as a USP or a philosophy or whatever, this is what sticks for us. It's an all-rounded effort. It is not something which is just one part of it. So while the coffee is good, the seating, the books, the Wi-Fi, the cultural aspects of it, the community part. We have so many events happening. Truly,
I think that is what the amount of events we do. I don't think any coffee house. I'm sorry, but I don't think any coffee house does the events.
I mean, they do.
And
they
the
don't
kind of
do
events these guys pull off. It's absolutely amazing to see. I mean, I have never seen or heard of a coffee house doing a crochet workshop, right? It's a very new thing. Now people are doing it, I think
now
they realize
everyone wants
there is a market in this.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Yeah.
So,
and you have to have all aspects of an experience in place. You can't have bad coffee and a great event. You can't have a great event, good coffee and a bad event. Today's customer is willing to pay the extra buck, but they want all these tick boxes. That's the experience you sell, and I think that's the differentiated part in what a Bookbar offers. It is something which is deep rooted in culture, and it is an honest conversation. Our social media is honest. Our podcasts are honest. Our conversations with our customers are honest, and the feedback loop is two ways. So all this becomes the recipe for making a differentiated experience in a city like this.
Right. Great. So, scaling quickly requires some tough decisions at a point of time, right? Do you guys recall any such tough decisions that you guys had to make?
If we get a good space, we will. If we have to open it, we'll open it. How we open it, it's a very different conversation altogether. I think it's a different podcast altogether. But yeah, I mean, scale is, once you have a good team to back you up with everything, I think it is very simple. Like I said before, it is a plug and play model. So if you find a good space, I think we'll top it by opening it in record time. If we've opened, say, FC, we took what, 40, 45 days? We'll try to open the next one in like 35 days. So it's also a challenge for the team as well, right? At the end of the day, okay, how fast can we open? Because we know what to do, right? We don't, like I said, we don't hire outside firms. Everything is done in-house. So all decisions are made very fast. All decisions are made last moment also, I think. That wall was a very last moment wall that happened. And I mean, scale is easy if you have a supporting team. And I think we have a very good team right now. So
scaling becomes very easy when you have great teams, as Rushad said. It really, you create a template, you know the bells and whistles. Of course, there's always a scope of improvisation. You just have to plug and play. And each team member knows what they have to do. So there is no mix and match or khichdi, so to speak, right? People know what they have to do, what they are supposed to deliver. And it is just the momentum which helps. And the vision. I think the most important thing in scaling rightly is being very true to your vision. Tomorrow, you would want to scale into something else which is not aligning to your vision. It will fall, right? So scaling with the vision, having the right teams, extremely important. I think we've got that right. So till now, I always talk about what we are today. Never want to jump the gun. Never want to look too much in the back. I think today we are good. We are authentic. We are honest. We want to move forward. We want to give this differentiated experience to a lot of people, not only in this city, but hopefully in other cities, and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Great. So, because you guys have emphasized a lot on, having the great team, right? Having a great team. How do you guys, identify that type of talent?
HR. I mean, see, I don't know. I mean, we built this team over a year, and they built their teams. So I think
this is where the experience comes into play.
Yeah. So
he's 10 years in hospitality. So you sometimes understand how to look around, which groups to be a part of, which contacts you need to have, especially from an ops execution kitchen, that aspect of it. And same with me, I know to spot an interesting person with potential because of my experience of dealing with so many people, right? That's what counts, and there is no one method to recruiting and hiring. This is the secret thing personally and individually which can't be articulated. Kabhi wo andaz hi aata hai. You get to know with the body language, of course with skill sets as well, but I think experience counts. Talent and hiring and building teams. Otherwise, everyone would have, we see so many people having no experience, having great ambition, having all the money. Why doesn't it translate? Because there's one small thing which experience teaches you is the team structure, is the talent, is all of this.
Yeah, I think we built it over a period of 12 months. Built a very good team. Now,
nothing without.
And we budget it, right? I mean, now we have budgets for each team. So hire if you want to hire. If you don't want to hire, don't hire. I mean, it all depends on how you want your work to be done, whether it's in an easy way or in a hard way.
So, one thing, it's a cafe also which starts on a friendship model. While there is differentiation between professional and friends, I think we all are very good friends also. It shows, it shows. It shows in everything. Right or wrong, I'm no one to comment. There will be 100 people who will dissect this and say that, there should be a very fine line between professional and personal. We know that fine line, but we also know when to blur it also. I think that's the most important part with culture.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, all right, you guys give budgets, allot budgets, and then they can hire. But still, does the hospitality industry have anything in specific? From where do they hire, or how do they look out for people? Is anything structurized in that section?
I mean, to be very honest, it's all contacts. Yeah. I think half of my team is on different groups circulating in Pune. And I mean, if you have to hire somebody, they put a message. Say, looking for example, a senior barista or a junior barista or an intern. But I think the brand also is equally responsible. We just put up a post right now for to grow his team. I think we got 100 plus CVs.
More than that.
More than 100 plus
1
CVs
day.
in less than 24 hours. So I think the brand also is equally important, whether you want to work for the brand or not. Right? I mean, I think that is.
I don't know if LinkedIn works in Pune in hospitality. Does it work?
It does.
hiring?
I think it does to a certain extent, but it works more in Bombay.
I know for
not
marketing
in,
and for all the other roles, yeah, sure. But I don't know if kitchen, head chefs, all
we
the
have
other.
a very good
ecosystem.
HR team. Thankfully, we have one. We had an in-house HR team. Now we've hired a professional HR team as well. So, yeah, it's their headache, not our headache. Right at the end.
See, honesty.
Yeah, I mean,
You would get a very sugar-coated answer for this. You know, this is like, you know what? We have a good HR.
If you're paying somebody for it, then you have
Nice.
to see it through, right? I mean, and also deadlines matter a lot. So if you've asked for, say, 2 baristas in the next 10 to 15 days, it's their job to get it done. Or, I don't know, get fired or something. It's as simple as that, right? I mean, you can't wait. This industry is a very fast-paced industry. You can't wait. देखेंगे बाद में. ऐसा नहीं होता है.
So, are there organizations specifically for HR in hospitality?
Yeah. Of course.
It's
Every
quite a booming,
major restaurant
sector.
will have an HR team that specifically targets hospitality people. And a lot of colleges, a lot of interns. Again, it all comes back to the brand as well, right? Thankfully, Bookbar is a good brand to work for. So, yeah, I think, and it proves that they got 100 plus CVs in less than 24 hours. So
And that was honestly a litmus test. We just put out a post for interns and, of course, a designer and all that. And the kind of feedback shows that the culture is extending to people who really want to be a part of it. And we all really were happy about it. But what happens tomorrow is a different thing. But as of today, we are getting this feedback, and it feels very validating to know that people not just want to come here as a customer, but they would like to work, right? And you know how nuanced it is with culture and working. And these days, people are very choosy. Like they don't want toxic cultures, and they don't want all of that, right? So yeah, so far so good,
Yeah.
I guess.
So, with the whole, AI boom, people getting very technical and everything, are there any tools and technology you guys are using when it comes to hospitality?
no, zero
Instagram and WhatsApp.
tools. No tools.
That's the only technology.
AI is not going to make your coffee, so no tool. We don't use any tools. I don't understand AI also. I think experience.
I think AI helps in social media. I wouldn't lie that today you should use AI, but you should use AI to, shorten your time, not talk about the story in itself. Like, at the end of the day, authenticity is something which is your own. So AI is a tool. It's like a calculator, right? If you use a calculator, doesn't mean you don't know how to calculate manually, right? 4 into 4 is 16. Same thing calculator will do, it's just that it'll take a shorter time. That's what AI has to do. It's a support function to make your life easier. I use AI a lot, but it's more of paraphrasing, or it's more of, just a random thing. The tool is available. right? Don't make that your only arsenal.
I don't use AI. I have no use for AI.
But yeah, AI is not going to
Zero
make your
use for
coffee.
AI.
So except for, not proper AI, but any other tools that you guys would be using for operations or anything, not only at Bookbar, but generally in hospitality industry. Are there any tools for performance tracking when it comes to employees or getting customer insights, anything like that?
Customer feedback is always conversation, I believe. No matter what you put on the Excel sheet or a paper, what you get from a real conversation, you can't replace it. But yeah, when you scale, you can't be everywhere. So we take reviews seriously. We take all that aspect very seriously. And I think simple things which are now mandatory for everyone, like you have to have a great POS system. I think the one we have is fantastic. It's used by everyone, generates reports, insights, data, revenue. Simple things like attendance, biometrics. As I said, the systems have to be in place. And those are simple tools which have been existing since we started the hospitality industry.
Never complicated.
So will the core of hospitality always be humans?
Of course, 100%.
Who said this? I think it was a Shahid Kapoor podcast. The difference between service and hospitality. Service is service. Hospitality is what you make people feel. I'd seen it in one of these podcasts.
Humans,
but he would answer this better.
Humans, always. That touch is very important. So, yeah. Bookbar was a very desperate move, which turned out to be a fantastic move. So, yeah, I think that's me. I've worked for a few good chefs back in the day. One of them who I'm still in touch with, and yeah, that's been like my journey in the industry.
Well, what do I say? I have a commerce background, but I used to play cricket. So my first half of my life, I was a professional cricketer, all of that. So I had no aspirations to even get into this space, to be very honest. And I didn't want to work for my father. Similar, not 6 months, a little longer I worked, but I always wanted to, I liked storytelling. And that got me introduced to experiential marketing and brand management and events. So I left all of that. And the only thing which I've learned from as education is through on-ground work. 13 years in a company before. So from a management trainee, I worked my way up. And every working my way up taught me something, taught me how to deal with people, crisis, storytelling, events, getting things together, technology, and that really fascinated me. So no background no coffee background, no hospitality background, but a sheer passion for storytelling, I feel, is what I learned from my job and my peers and my bosses and my mentors. And yeah, I think.
So, Rishad, from your perspective, anybody starting into or pursuing in the hotel management or the hospitality industry, trying to get into it, what would be the best advice that you could give them?
Work for a minimum of 5 years. Minimum of 5 years. Get experience. Understand. It's not easy. It's very difficult. It looks very nice, but I think back end it is very challenging. So yeah, that would be my only advice. Like, work, get a good experience from good restaurants, and then of course, yeah, start. Why not? Take the risk. It's important to take the risk.
And what people do you think, according to your experience, fit well in the hospitality industry?
That's subjective. I don't know. Anybody who wants to pursue a career in hospitality can go ahead and start. I think the idea matters. Everything matters. It's not what it was 10, 15 years back. It's changed. It's changing every day. And it's changing fast. So, yeah, I think start with getting good experience. If you can survive the first week, then you can survive. If you can't survive the first week, then you are not meant for this.
And according to you, both of you guys, what is one thing that any person should consider before taking this risk or a leap to get into entrepreneurial journeys and specifically into the hospitality industry?
Ask him. He just joined the hospitality industry
Meet
6
someone
months
like
back.
Rushad Wadia. My answer is meet someone like Rushad. No, I mean, I don't know how to answer this question, to be honest. I always feel that, let's look at these dynamics, right? You need to have someone who's a risk taker as an entrepreneur, right? And you need to have someone who also is on the analytical side. And that's where the balance happens. So if I had to start a business, right, it would never start. The reason being, because I would overthink it and I would overanalyze it, right? Rightly so. If Rushad has started a business, he would not overthink it. Of course, you need to do due diligence, but there is this thing of risk taking and gut feel that, let's see where we go and we'll figure it out. I'll be like, why do we have to go here? Isn't there another road? Or what if we do this? What if we do that? So if there's a well, Rushad will be like, let's jump in the well. I'll be like, why this well? Why not the other? Are there 4 wells? Is it deep? Is it not? So sometimes this part works as a cushioning and data point and analysis. And most of the time that part works because you know what? Sometimes you just need to jump. So if you want to be an entrepreneur or if you want to be a part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem, you need this combination. You need to figure out who you are as a person. I am not that person. I will overthink.
मतलब
Correct?
दारू पी के धंधा मत चालू करो. सोचो, think about it. You have these conversations, right? कि करना है कुछ तो life में. There has to be a plan. There has to be a certain, and you will get there eventually. Trust me, I'm telling you, you will get there eventually. So
that was the question, right? Today, there is no one answer. Yeah. You see 20-year-old, 21-year-olds creating unicorns, and you see 60-year-olds or 50-year-olds or 40-year-olds crash. There is no one answer. You just got to be true to who you are, actually. You are a risk taker, go for it. If you're not, you can be a happy professional also. This whole thing of entrepreneurship and startup is not the only thing in life. If everyone becomes entrepreneurs, who will work for them? Somebody has to work for an entrepreneur also. And that's where the team part, the team is very important as much as the entrepreneur taking the risk. He's not going to work alone. He's got to have a whole muscle behind it, right? So people always feel that startups are the only avenue today, right? No. You can be a good professional, work your way, figure it out. As he said, do some 5-6 years of experience and then
in
take
this
an informed
industry,
decision.
I'm talking about this. I don't know about
Not
finance.
even this
or,
industry for that matter.
I don't know how much experience. This industry, minimum 5 years, so you should get experience to understand every little corner of it. So, yeah.
Right. I'm done with the questioning though. But if you want the conversation to go on,
Please watch What's Different Now. Rushad and Abhi.
What's different? What's different with this?
what's
What's different now? If I have to ask you a question.
So everything that is changing. So I see it from a perspective of this thing as well. Like a lot of people say, AI would take your jobs, would do this, would do that. But what I feel is that it might take few of the jobs, but again, it is going to create a lot of jobs, especially in the creative, in the entertainment, in this fields, right? So I have a different perspective to it. So basically, that's the whole aim, to understand what's different now. Because see, if you understand the pattern in the long run, that is when you're going to figure out that what you need to do today. Because everything does not work as we see what people are telling us. We have to figure out a little bit on our own as well.
You see that behind you?
It's a book, right? The bookshelf.
Yeah.
So you have Kindle also today, right? But you will still have this also. So technically, AI will be there, digital will be there, but the balancing act, I feel, will also, I think, have a very strong place in the ecosystem to just close what you were saying.
And people are going to have more time more time to spend with people. So where would they spend? People cannot be at home all the time, right? So places like this where you feel, it is a part of your extended home. So people are going to come to places like this because they're going to have a lot of time at their hand once, everything starts getting automated. So one last question. How important do you think the right intent and empathy plays in the whole journey, of being successful or whatever it is?
Well, you want to sleep better and have fun in your life. The intent and empathy will take you a long way. How do I answer this? It's the most important
Yeah,
thing.
be happy in life.
It is the most important thing.
Is that with the right intent and empathy driven approach towards things, you can also make revenue for yourselves.
Of course, it's not either or.
No,
You will
I
just
think,
have a better time making revenue. You can make revenue without the right intent also. You will maybe make money more faster, but the culture will be defined that way.
It won't stay also.
It may stay, it may not stay, it may burn out. There are so many things.
See, we don't want to open 100 stores. We don't want to be a Blue Tokai. We'll be very happy in the next 10 years if we open 20 stores.
Where do you plan to take Bookbar in the next 10 years probably? Oh, market strategy.
You never know, tomorrow you will see on Instagram. We are in some part of the world where Avnish went to Portugal, so he wants to open in Portugal. So we might be in Portugal also next month.
This is on record and I'm going to use this. So, but intent goes a long way. Authenticity, it's personal, and it will reflect in everything. If the ecosystem is that way, and if people like that, then they move forward. We have so many businesses which perhaps have different cultures. Where does culture come from? Come from the people who run it.
Correct. Great. Amazing.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.